Are you still in India or back?
Now I'm back from last Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I'm here, back in California. So
Yeah.
a different life.
The trip was okay?
Yes, I learned a lot. But the trip was.
Well, there must be a lot of rain, right?
Yeah, a lot of rain. Mumbai, there was so much rain that some portions, where my in-laws live, it was okay. Other locations, the water was coming up to their knees most times. So there was red alert everywhere. Nothing was moving. Trains were not moving some days, some places, not all, but some. Let's say it was an experience. But everyone was adjusting, everyone did their thing, and the function that I had gone for went off well despite everything, or in spite.
Oh yeah, they do that all the time. Yeah,
always adjusting, always.
Yeah. They can improvise. We have trouble adjusting. They have no problem adjusting.
No problem adjusting. Everyone will come. Okay, you cannot come by auto because the auto gets stuck. We'll walk. No problem. We carry extra clothes. We'll change it. It was amazing. Just very, as I said, something to learn, or not to learn, but to keep moving forward with.
Yeah.
It was good. And today it's Keshavanandji, no? Oh, that's good. Be different.
We're waiting for Keshavanandji. Deepakanandji, I cannot contact Deepakanandji.
Everything's taking it to the living room. Just close off that 1 minute. Sorry, I'm on.
Okay, Deepakanandji is showing up.
Sorry, I just forgot.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Deepakanandji, please, Keshavanandji is joining.
Okay. Jai
Three mantra,
Satchidananda.
please.
Namo Vitragai.
Vitragai.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vazayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Eso Panchana Mukkaro.
Uvapa Pranasano.
Sava Pavat Pranasano.
Mangalanam cha Savesing.
Mangalaram cha Sarve Singh.
Tamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. Okay. Okay. We are working on the first two Agnas. So anybody needs to share something? Before Deepakanandji can throw some light on that? Anybody experience seeing relative and real? Whoever wants to speak, they can unmute, okay? You are allowed to unmute. Okay, Deepakanandji, why don't you talk a little bit about...
Okay, just hold on. Jai Satchidanand. You know, the first two Agnas basically reflects our intermediate enlightened state, wherein we make use of the light of the pure soul through Prajna Shakti to see what are the unfolding karmas of the name bearer, which could be of happiness or unhappiness type, that is papa or punya, and at the same time, the Prajna Shakti, that is light of the pure soul, active light of the pure soul, which keeps cautioning us and which keeps illumining our intermediate enlightened state also, where we are doing all our efforts to remain in the first two Agnas, that is of relative and real. So we are so much used to living like a layman, but having got enlightened, having got self-realized, we know back of our mind, because the Prajna Shakti is working actively, but under the pressure of the unfolding karma, at that time we are not able to remain vigilant. And so we miss to see people through the first two Agnas, that is by relative viewpoint, name bearer, real viewpoint, pure soul. Relative viewpoint, plant, animal, insect, whatever they are, and real viewpoint, pure soul. But when the pressure of the unfolding karma subsides, then the light of pure soul through Prajna Shakti cautions us, hey, you missed it. Okay, sorry, sorry. I through retrospection, then I come to know, yes, I guess I did miss that. I saw the dog, but I didn't see that dog is by relative viewpoint and real viewpoint. It is pure soul. So that's how back and forth this is working now. But as we correct ourselves through retrospection, where all we committed mistake or where all we missed staying in the two agnas, especially the first two agnas, which we are focusing now. So we come to know that, yes, this was the mistake committed, and we resolve to remain in the first two agnas to see by relative viewpoint, whoever, whatsoever the person or the life is, and by a real viewpoint, he or she or the living form as pure soul. So with such retrospection, resolution, and our decision to remain in the Agna, what happens? And of course, the correction part, every time we miss to see pure soul, every time we to see the person by relative viewpoint, because relative viewpoint means these eyes, the worldly eyes, we see the person as they are, but by relative viewpoint through the third eye. The physical eyes or the bodily eyes, they see the person or the life as it is. Like, oh, dog, is this dog. Oh, Mira, yes, she's Mira. But no, the third eye will say, she's Mira, yes, but by relative viewpoint. Because the divine vision sees everything uniquely and yet differently from the bodily eyes. So when we start viewing and practicing the two agnas, then gradually the effect and influence of the worldly eyes will reduce gradually, and third eye will start working, that is divine vision will work. It will not work naturally now, but you have to put our efforts to see through retrospection, check ourselves and correct ourselves. So this is how it's a wonderful process. And gradually, it is like you will resolve to remain in the first two agnas right in the morning after you wake up and get ready. You resolve for the day, like how we do things to do list for the day. So this will be like our things to do list. Every time the primary thing to see and view everybody, every living form by first two agnas, by relative viewpoint, and by real viewpoint. So when we do such resolve and make a firm decision to remain in the two agnas all through the day, then most of the time, even if we come to know the, like I will say that when I was about, I would make a decision every morning. And then while I was working, let's say, I leave for the office, then I start viewing people that, okay, these 5 people from my department, I'm going to see them every day and today also. So even before seeing them, meeting them, because I'll be meeting them maybe in an hour or so, but I see them right there. And then I see them from these two viewpoints. And that's how when I reach office and see them, this homework works naturally. It reminds me, and I am very, I will say, religiously, I was able to see pure soul, and by relative viewpoint, the person is so and so. And this really helped me because, as Dada had said, viewing people through these two viewpoints is a miracle vision because it will change my inner self. At the same time, it will change the other person's relative self also. Inner self means my body self, I will say. The effect on my body self and the other person's body self will be miraculously different because I have decided to see them and I see them from these two viewpoints. So the effect of these two sentences or the two agnas start working naturally. And this is a wonderful experience. That's why we are practicing this for now and share our experience. So this is how we will be able to practice. As I had said, Dada Bhagwan, even immediately after the Gnan Vidi self-realization ceremony, I will say, he would take the few people, 3, 4 of them, only because that time only 3, 4, 2 or 1 person also were taking Gnan Vidi at that time. So he would take them personally in a horse cart and show them, what do you see? Horse. Is that a horse? No, 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 no. By relative viewpoint, it is horse. By real viewpoint, it is pure soul. So this way, it works very well. He will show banyan tree and say by relative viewpoint it is banyan tree. Worldly view, it is banyan tree. Yes, it is banyan tree for sure. But no, through divine vision, when you see by a relative viewpoint it is the banyan tree, but by real viewpoint it is pure soul. You see a dog, you see a person, you see different people, because here donkeys, cows, pigs, mosquitoes. There are so many there here and around. So they cause a lot of irritation also. They come in they will sit in the middle of the road and, the whole traffic and divert, and they just don't move. So they really become very big irritation. But when we see them with these two viewpoints, and the way Dada used to take us around and show us immediately after Gnan Vidhi, so it was like he would demonstrate it practically and make us see them immediately after the Gnan Vidhi. So it was really helping. But here we practice afterwards this way, and that is how we will ensure that we remain in the two agnas. And in fact, in the good times, the two agnas were the agnas given to the recipient of self-realization. And other things they would understand and resolve and finally attain absoluteness in a few days, not even few months, because they in that time they would get such self-realization when they have attained the 10th step of perfection on the relative self, that is purification through self-denial and penance. But here we haven't done anything. We were at home, and by mere grace we have got the Gnan Vidhi or through Samarpan Vidhi. And that's why this little effort and such satsang and interaction is important. Jai Satchidanand.
That's very good. Okay, now we have Keshavanandji. So Keshavanandji, we are talking about the first two agnas and how to implement it during the day and how to become conscious day by day. So if you can share how you started out and how you are now at the stage and gives about practicing the first and two agnas, then we'll take questions.
Okay, very good. These two agnyas, real and relative. Dadaji used to say that we have never seen this world with two agnyas. Our past so many births, we have been seeing this whole world with relative viewpoint. This is the first time in the history this has come in our life that we have come with two viewpoints, one relative viewpoint, one real viewpoint. This comes only after the great kripa of Dada Bhagwan when he do the Jnana Vidhi and then he makes us separate. But as usual, Dadaji used to say that your practice, this practice will not come. These two things will never come unless until you do the practice every day. In the initial stages, Dada used to say, in the initial stages, Dada used to say that once you you will find that I am with relative viewpoint, I am Chandubai, and by real viewpoint, I am Shuddhatma. These two things are not so easy to practice. Because Dadaji used to say that in past so many births, we have been only seeing this everybody. In past birth, he is my husband, he is my son. This viewpoint have come first time. So what Dadaji used to say, that this will come only with everyday practice. So he used to guide us when we were very young, that you go early in the morning in the market. While going in the market, you should not go in the bus. You should not go in the car, but you should go by walking and by step, when you see the trees, when you see the banyan tree, then you see some dog passing through, then you see some cow is standing there. Each and every live person, you have to see the relative and real viewpoint. While going this for 1 hour continuously, he used to say that at least when you go to buy a vegetables from home, there is a half a kilometer the distance, then you will go half a kilometer while walking and watching each and every person with real and relative viewpoint. And while coming, when you buy the vegetables, that person also you have to see the real and relative. Like that, you have to do practice for 1 hour every day. Why Dadaji used to say to do the practice every day? Because our previous birth practice is only relative viewpoint. But here we have to practice two viewpoints, real and relative. That is why he used to say that you have to do the practice every day till you have to not force, or you have to not do the practice, you have not to see it, but it will become surge automatically. Automatically, when the practice is over, then what will happen? By surge, automatically you will see real and relative everywhere, right from waking up early in the morning, when you see your husband, you see your children, the servant is coming, the real and relative will be surge. In Gujarati, Dada used to say surge. You have not to do a forcefully or practice or anything. So till it comes surge, you have to do this practice every day. And while doing this practice, it is a great samayik. Because we have never taken out our time for 1 hour to do this practice. That is, fifth Agnya is also coming in this. When we obey the two Agnyas, real and relative, then the Shuddhatma Chopra is also coming, because we are doing a samayik for 1 hour. So Dadaji used to say, these two Agnyas, even there are 5 Agnyas, but any of one Agnya, real and relative, you follow, your all 5 the Agnyas are connected in this. That is another secret. Another secret of Dada's this sentence, that if you obey one Agnya, that means it is connected to all the 4 Agnyas. That means you are following all my 5 Agnyas. So early in the morning or whole day, suppose you are watching, you are seeing everybody in real and a relative viewpoint, that means you are obeying Dada's all 5 Agnyas. That is the another secret of Dada's science. When you do this practice of 1 hour, the 4th Agnya is also automatic coming. When you are obeying real and relative, what you are doing? You are doing the Sambhava Nikal with file number 1. You are taking him to the vegetable market while doing this to following this Agnya. And while the nature is taking away, because if you are not okay, if your health is not okay, so the nature is taking you to the market and you are obeying the Agnya of real and relative, that means Vyasid Shakti is also coming in this. The Vyasid is taking you to the market. That's how Dadaji used to explain that if you will follow even one Agnya of myself, You are pass in Dada's dictionary, Dada's science, and you will get the 70% marks if you obey one Agnya. That is the great secret of Dada's science, that how one Agnya is connected to all the 5 Agnyas. But that's why the first 2 Agnyas, real and relative, Dada used to emphasize too much. He used to emphasize that if this vision will come to you, this will take you to the ultimate Kevalgna. This vision is very important of real and relative. Correct?
Yes, very good. So initially and now, how do you do this? Is it now you're on autopilot, or how long it take you to come to this stage?
No, this is the on the spot. If anybody comes in front of us, we see the real and relative. Because we have been doing this practice for years together, right from beginning. From Dadaji used to tell us to go to the market, you go to everywhere, do specially practice for 1 hour every day. So those were the day when we were in the childhood time. So we used to go forcefully for 1 hour and doing this real and relative. Now at this level, we have not to do any practice, but it is coming surge. It is coming automatically. If any live person is coming in front of us, even the mosquito is also coming on the spot, we see real and relative. If anything comes in front of our eyes, that is the Dada used to say, do the practice every day, do the practice every day. He used to remind us, and slowly, slowly it will be, automatically you will be able to see the Agnya, real and relative.
Okay, very good. Now, anybody want to share past week's experience? Okay. Mirabai, you can unmute yourself, okay?
Thank you. Jai Satchidanand Keshavanandji, Jai Satchidanand Deepakanandji.
Jai Satsang.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand. I had been to India for my father-in-law's function. I came back about 1 week ago today. I wanted to tell you, I followed this Agnas, and initially, as I was saying during last week's satsang, I just put a blanket statement and said everybody is nirdosh, and somehow came through. This week, as I did some retrospection and introspection, I noticed that even following that 1 and 2 Agnyas, it also allowed me to do a lot of Sambhav Nikal, I did a lot of Pratikraman. One of the instances, I'll tell you, we were multiple people in the house, and because it was a function, we had to cater food. We had to order food from another person. The person who is responsible, Meera, likes to see a lot of food, so that if there's a lot of people, nobody has to control themselves to eat the food. But the person who is ordering is opposite belief. They order only what is required, what they feel is required per person. Meera realized at that time, Meera did not realize this. Meera was actually thinking, why is this person ordering this? But in that retrospection process of understanding file number 1, file number 2, who that person is Shuddhatma. Meera should not be seeing it as a brother-in-law, as a father-in-law, as a sister-in-law, but as a Shuddhatma. Meera also understood that this is Vyavasthit. Whatever happens is correct. Meera has to get rid of that knot in her head that says that this is how it should be and people should have X amount of food and everyone will get what they get. Everything that happens to everyone is correct, including Meera. And I did Pratikraman accordingly, and after a few days of that, if I got 1 idli, or more importantly, if someone else in my family or in the extended family got 1 idli because there was no idlis available, it is correct. It is all correct. Jai Satchidanand. And that is all because of Dada's.
Very good. Keshavanandji?
Haji.
Any analysis what she said?
Yeah, there was a call between that. So uh, that I got it.
Okay. Okay, Deepakanandji.
Yeah, Jai Sachidanand. So this is like the beauty of Dada Bhagwan, that after getting self-realization, when you remain in the Agna, then in all your worldly interactions, this vision through the Agnas will work positively. It doesn't even, it not only help you see people as pure soul, on the worldly side, uh, the outcome of seeing people as pure soul and by relative viewpoint, they help us handle our mm, relative worldly dealing also very amicably, effortlessly, without any obvious efforts. Like just remain seeing them as pure soul and as by relative viewpoint, so and so, brother-in-law, father-in-law, like that. So this is what. So as Keshavanandji very well said, that just by remaining in one Agna of Dada Bhagwan, we get the benefit of all the five Agnas. And Mira's experience is quite obvious about this. So that was good. And one thing what she said, that she had decided beforehand, resolved that whatever it is, everybody is innocent. Everybody is निर्दोष. Everybody is innocent. Nobody is doing, but collectively the circumstances come together and things simply happen. And with these two agnas and the understanding that everybody is innocent, she was able to handle the whole situation, which she thought for so many years she's coming to India and handling things will become a problem, but everything went on so smoothly and everything was good. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay. Anybody else want to share something? Sarita-ben, Latta-ben, Lalita-ben, Kirti-ben, Rani, Nina-ben.
Okay, I have a question. We were talking about the different experiences. One of the things I came across last week, in my own family, there was a little difference of opinion between a couple of people. Okay, so I was listening to both the sides. Okay, one view is to kind of say both are correct and everything is correct in their own, way, or should I intervene and should I set things right? I'm really confused, and when I say that everyone is faultless, nirdosh, and people do what is correct, and should I actually kind of intervene? Should I do that? It is because it's my own family. Should I set things right, or should I take a view that these people are, Shuddhatma, they have their own files to clear, or should I leave it as it is? And the option I had is just pray and say that, things should sort out. But at the same time, I was just thinking I needed to ask this question. I just wanted to run it by you.
Okay, Keshavanandji?
Yes, that's very good. Normally, Dadaji used to say that when there is a difference of opinion and when you are doing the argument, at that time, what happens? Then we becomes a ekakar. Ekakar means we become one. Then we forget everything. When we go to solve the problems of others, at that time, we should have such a great jagruti. We should have such a alertness that you are separate and who is doing this discussion. That level we should do. We should come in the jagrati like that. But before that, Dadaji used to say that if you try to make somebody correct, or if you try to make somebody right, even when you will explain him, at that time, he is not ready to listen when there is an argument. At that time, he always trying to say that I am right and you are wrong. So at that time, when you try to do all your efforts, it goes in the vain. What we should do, you should try your little bit in whether few minutes, if you can try your level best to explain him everything right, well and good. Then within 5 minutes, if you find it that he is not understanding your viewpoint, then you should leave it. And then you should leave it, and with wonderful art that he should not be feeling bad or anything. Slowly, okay, I am trying to say that you are right, but this is not correct like this. But then also he doesn't understand, then you have to leave. Because the other says that why I should wait for whole night to make you understand? Instead of that, I should go in my Swa Jagrati. Instead of I should go in my own self. I should go within my inner side and do all my so many work I have to do instead of explaining you. You should try a little bit. If he understands you, then you should leave it. And if he doesn't understand, then you should not waste your time. Because at that time, he is so much in that juncture that he is feeling that I am right. And once he comes in that ahankar and that I am right, then he will not understand any of your viewpoint. So what Dada said, that when such thing happens, you should make a point that you should slowly come out from that atmosphere. You should come out from that atmosphere, because your each and every moment is precious. You are Samkitdari Mahatma. If you will sit in that argument, your whole night may go in the van. Why? Since last so many births, even in this birth, we have all the time trying to say that I am right, I am right, I am right. Dada says that if I have to come out from this atmosphere, what I will do? I will say, you are right. It was my mistake that I had done an argument with you. I am sorry for that, and please forgive me. Even though you are right, then also you should come out from that atmosphere. Because when you are in that juncture, while doing argument and feeling that he is right or he is wrong, at that juncture, it is not so easy to accept everything. Why it is happening like this? Because of our previous so many births, we are trying in the same method. But this time, after having this Vignan, after having real and a relative, after having such a wonderful science, why we should waste our time? He is not going to understand. Because once it comes in that point that you are wrong and I am right, so in that time, in that force of time, you have to leave that place. You have to, but with great understanding, he is not annoyed, and with such an idea that he is not hurted, and you should come out from that atmosphere. That was Dada's science every time. Even in his presence, present so many evidences. If anybody used to do the argument with Dada Bhagwan, within fraction of minutes, he used to say, okay, you are right. And he will not come to know that Dada is just surrendering. He will not go. That was the art. That art we have to learn from Dada Bhagwan.
Oh, thank you. Jai Satsang.
Jai Satsang.
Deepakanandji?
Yeah, that's true. Such situations are very common. So on one side, we should put all our efforts, whatever wisdom and right understanding you have in the situation with facts and figures. You try to explain people with the goal of amicable settlement. And finally, if they don't want to, leave their opinion and just remain or just stick on to their opinion and belief, and they just don't want to come out of that, then very carefully leave the matter. But you have to put all your efforts first. And finally, understand that nobody wants the common goal to achieve goodness of all, but they just want to stick onto their opinion only. Then gradually and carefully come out of it and understand that we have put all our efforts, and after putting all our effort, they don't even listen to you. That is possible. Then pray for amicable settlement. Ask their pure soul to give them right intellect, positive intellect, so that they understand things for the common goal, benefit of one and all, and then leave it. But you are not living with a curse that, okay, never, whatever happens, no. You still remain positive through a prayer. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Shailaben?
Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand Keshavanandji, Jai Sachidanand
Jai
Deepakanandji, Jai
Jai
Sachidanand
Sachidanand.
Mahatmas. As a beginner who's trying to practice the first two agyas, the problem I'm facing is it's like a wave. Sometimes what happens, I'm wondering if whatever file number one, the emotions like fear, sadness, and any such emotions file number one is facing, I'm able to, whenever when I'm going through it, I'm able to apply the agya and see that, oh, this belongs to file number one. This is, I'm away, I'm the pure soul. I'm not, the relative self is feeling this emotion. But still, will it then what I do is I recede, I chant, or I focus on the first two agyas, and then it goes, slowly it goes away. Is this how it is going to be in the beginning stages, like up and down during the day? Like when you're trying to practice it, this is how it's going to be? Or am I not putting in enough effort?
Keshavanandji?
No, in the beginning, it happens like that because we have got the previous birth so much great practice of not understanding, or we even never knew it that there is a file number one. We were only one. We were only one. But with the great efforts, with Dada's Kirpa, this separation has come. You have not done any efforts. Dada says that I have given you this jnana with so much easiness, with suddenly, and he has put you in the lift. And when he has put it so much in a great comfort zone, and he has not seen your previous births, so many practices, and he has not seen anything of your previous records. This has come with a great kripa of Dada Bhagwan. And what happens? So suddenly this has come to you. So you are in a really a great state of mind, what you are. Slowly, when you will become separate, your initial stages, then you have to start talking with yourself that who is file number one? What is the Shuddhatma? What is the file number one? So you have to slowly remind yourself that you are separate from file number one. By relative viewpoint, you are this, and by real viewpoint, you are this. Like that, you have to do a practice. That's why Dadaji used to say in the initial time, you have to do a practice. And that practice will not come while sitting at home. You have to do the practice while you should go with a particular thought in your mind. Even if you are going to the mall or you are going to buy something, or that you will give a raise to your mind that you are going there for practicing real and relative viewpoint for months together, for few months, continuously. Whenever you see somebody, you see the file number 2, file number 3, file number 4 by relative and real, relative and real. Like that, you have to do the practice slowly. And every day you have to put efforts till it becomes easy for you. It is so much easy for you, but in search, you can see the real and relative. So initially, you have to do this practice. You are passing through this stage, that is no problem. But every day, you have to bring that Jagrati. Dadaji used to say that after having this jnana, after having this great understanding, there is nothing else remains. Only 5 agnyas which I am giving you, that you have to concentrate on that. And these 5 agnyas itself is Dada Bhagwan. These 5 agnyas itself will take you to the mokshas. These 5 agnyas will take you to the final stage of Keval Jnana. So you have to give more time for practicing these agnyas. And slowly, it will become so easy that you have not to do any force. You have to not to, and by itself, by default only, you will see real and relative in everybody. Correct?
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jai
Deepakanandji?
Sachidanand.
Yeah, I mean, that is very rightly said. I'll just
Very nice.
add here that initially you had to practice this, put into practice, make adjustment, remind yourself, and finally it will become like your second nature, like how you recognize other person. Let's say someone's name is Ramnathan, and you know that person is Ramnathan. But then, when you didn't have this knowledge, you know that was Mr. Ramnathan. But that conviction is there with you, is Ramnathan. But after practicing these two viewpoints, it will happen naturally, and you will view that person, he is Ramnathan by relative viewpoint, but by real viewpoint, he is pure soul. This will happen, but until this happens naturally, you have to keep practicing. And as we have said, it is very well said, practice makes you perfect. So this is the transition period wherein we have to put our efforts, make adjustments, make use your things to do list, remind yourself and all that. And then it will happen naturally that you will be able to see individuals with the two viewpoints. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you so much. Very motivating. Thank you.
Rani?
Jai Sachidanand, Deepakanandji, Keshavanandji, and all Mahatmas. Jai Sachidanand. I'd just like to share a brief experience based on what we've been talking about in Satsang about, shifting our priorities. So instead of focusing on work first thing in the morning, shifting our priorities more on Dada's 5 Agnas, specifically 1 and 2. So this relates a little bit to what Keshavanandji was saying about repeatedly saying something. So my boss for almost 1 year, just intermittently, I've been telling him that, this is not the protocol we typically use. We should be doing it this way. And, he has not listened. And Rani used to get very upset about this, not because it was coming from a place of ego, why are they not listening to me? I'm only trying to do what's good for the team. But this week, what happened is his boss asked him for that protocol, which had not been done. So he was really put on the spot, and he was kind of a little bit berated by his boss. And, I had that in that moment, like old Rani would have said, and not practicing this, I would have felt satisfied, like, see, he didn't listen to me, and this is what happened, and blah, blah, blah. But because my priority was only on, am I seeing relative viewpoint and real viewpoint, not the outcome of the work, not the results, nothing. Despite all that berating and everything, he could have easily come back to me and yelled at me, but he didn't. He just, everybody, that meeting, it's like it happened. It was a little explosion, and then everybody went with their respective tasks. But the most beautiful thing was, because I was not prioritizing the outcome, because I was not prioritizing from an ego standpoint, and just seeing, did I see relative and real in each of the people in this meetings, I felt like every day at work was a success this week, even though I sometimes got irritated. There was slip ups, and then I'd have to shoot on site after, like maybe an hour after I'd realized I made the mistake. But I really am seeing that difference, because now I'm not so stressed out about my job, because the work will happen if I use this understanding to root me. So really shifting that paradigm, and it's hard. I have to do a lot of practice and make a lot of mistakes, but I think that is the biggest thing I've seen in these last 2 weeks is I'm not stressed about my job, which is very stressful, because the priorities are focused on, relative and real. So just those first two Agnas. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Keshavanandji, any thoughts?
Yeah, wonderful. This is a great achievement after going through this process of real and relative. And this is the everybody's experiences when there is too much of heavy load of work is going on. Some meetings are going on. At that time, normally everybody forgets. Everybody forgets real and relative. But in that juncture of time, when you are having a very hard time, hard meetings and discussing everybody, and at that time your Lakshya is real and relative, it is a great achievement, I would say. And that is the result of your great practice. Great practice, because first of all, when you are, and I will give you another very good hint of Dada Bhagwan, what Dada used, that even Dada Bhagwan says, and when he used to give advice to all people who are very busy and who are too much involved in the business and so many efforts, that before sitting in the meeting, before starting anything, you have to do the prayer. And you have to bring yourself that you are separate, and this is the file has come, and now this file I have to do this meeting, and I have to do something very heavy work over there. So hey Dada Bhagwan, you give me a great blessings that I should remain separate in this meeting, and as a file I should do the Sambhave Nikal, and you give me the strength and vision so that in this meeting my upyog should not be separated, that my upyog should not go away of real and relative. Like that, if you while sitting in the meeting and you do this prayer, it will give you still more strength and more great vision of putting these two Agnas in your whole process. So this is a great effort of your everyday practice and very good achievement. And still you will reach to that level that when you are doing a meeting, when everything hassle is going on, every discussion is going on, then you can easily see it. That see who is doing this, who is doing this. If the Vyasa Shakti is putting him this efforts, Vyasa Shakti is giving a prerna so that I am doing this good. And while in the meeting also you will remain every moment separate. That is the great level of Keval Jnana you have to reach.
Yes. Thank
Very
you.
good.
Jai Satchidananda.
Deepakanandji?
Yes.
That's wonderful. Not focusing on the meeting part or the worldly part, but focusing, because see, we are always watchful, careful, and we are always prepared for the worldly aspect. But when we focus on this part, which is like working behind the curtains, so this is definitely going to have a great impact on your success, because all the distraction part, disturbance part, just by remaining in the first two Agnas of relative and real, it takes care of everything behind the curtain. So all your intervention or disturbance definitely go away, and this is a wonderful experience that of course, it doesn't say that by remaining in the first two Agnas, you have to ignore your worldly part. But no, your worldly part, you're already taken care. But these distraction, this disturbance makes the thing bad, which is not necessary. But with the help of this, things go on very smoothly, effortlessly, and end result is success. Jai Satchidananda.
Jai Satchidananda.
Yeah, that is very good. Now, Keshavanandji, I have a question for you. You
Yeah.
used to go into business. Now you almost retire, and now you're taking more into business. How are you handling that?
Very nicely, very nicely. Wonderfully. When I used to go to the plant, at that time also, I used to talk with Keshav. okay, come with me, Keshav. Now we are going after so many days, and today is very good day that you are going to the plant, and you will see 100 boys working in the factory, and you will see the real and relative. Then what I do, then I go to the each and every machine, the people who are working over there. I talk with them, and I first of all see Shuddhatma in them. Then I discuss with them, how's your family? Everybody is fine, and they also feel happy that after a long time he has come. And when I see them in their eyes, real and relative, you will not believe. Even this is a practice and all so many things, not because of that my boss has come, or I'm Aptaputra has come. When we see, with this is my experience, when you see the person with real and a relative viewpoint, they start bowing you. They come in front of you and say, bless us and do this. This is I seen after a grade. Previously, I could never experience this. Previously, because I was a boss and I'm going there and talking with them, that was the viewpoint. But when this viewpoint I developed, and slowly we did the practice after saying that Dada used to say that if anybody comes in front of you, see the real and relative. So whenever I used to see a real and relative, they will come and like the feeling to hug me, that sir, you have come after a long time. But they never used to know that this vision is working. I have come after a long time now. I am seeing them real and relative. So godly vision, Shuddhatma vision is giving them a great strength of giving a respect to the opposite person, which never used to happen in the history. The nobody worker will come and bow in front of you. Because I am seeing a God within him, and that vision goes there, and from there he sees the God within me. So God meets with God. You will feel like that this is a great milan of two gods together when we see real and relative. That was my great experience with while I go to the any business trip, or I used to go to meet to all the workers in the factory. This is a great vision, and not a single person will have any grievances or anything. If when you see the real and relative, even if you have any grievances, that also you will forget, because the vision is different. The vision is of godly vision, seeing them a God within themselves. It's a great vision which Dada has given us to see each and every person the God. And that is a great thing. Since last so many births, we have never seen a God in anybody. It may be a husband, it may be a boys, it may be a son or his daughter, or if he's the employee, or anybody. We have never seen a God within anybody. This is a great vision which comes, and with that vision, everything becomes easy. The difficult person becomes easy. Any difficult situation becomes easy, because you have got a new relation of seeing God within oneself. That's
Very
my
good.
great.
Very good, sir. Okay. So, Rani, homework for you. For next week, let us see how much stressed you were at work, okay?
Okay.
No, seriously.
But it's
like
seriously because of these satsang. That is why, because, I think that not having this constant practice or constant focus, like that's what's been really missing in my life about the application. It's always has been intermittent, but because of these satsangs, and especially for, non-Gujarati speakers, it's just like the most important thing of my week if I'm able to make it. And it's due to that grace and this energies of this group that has made such a difference.
yeah, we are right. This helps a lot, and also,
Yes.
now you're going to practice, and now you have homework for next week, so you're going to practice more.
Yeah.
No, it's a good thing you said. It's a lot of stress at work, but we need to learn to de-stress our work.
Yeah.
And I had the same. I didn't have that problem of stress at work, although my guys were working all over the world, so my work was going 24 hours, but I never had the stress in my life. Yeah, it's just like say Keshavan, you just train yourself or be aware of that, that, hey, you know, it's going to happen. So, and it's happening, you know. And like Deepakanandji earlier said, you know, or so Keshavanandji said, you know, then you see, you know, when you're at a meeting or something, you know, what Vyavastik Sapt is doing to him, you know, and what is talking and not talking, and that's, you know. So then you laugh at yourself. Internally, you just laugh. Okay, you know, what the Dada, I mean, Vyavastik Shakti is doing to that person, you know. So it's very interesting. So if you observe it, it's very good. Okay, and it was nice. Very good, very experience, good experience. Let's continue. And also, you know, word for the Mahatmas who has done Gnan for a long time. Also, please, please start sharing your experiences too. This is so, you know, just like Rani made me talk about my experience at work. So that's why, please, please do come and talk about it. Okay, now our time is up. Keshavanandji, can you do please? Rani, please follow. Or everybody can follow. Who can unmute.
Sure.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Vitragai.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Uvazzayanam.
Namo Vazzayanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahanam.
Aiso Panchana Mukkaro.
Eso Panchana Mukkar.
Sava Pavapanasanam.
Sava Pavapanasano.
Mangalanam cha Savvesim.
Mangalanam cha Sarvesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai
Jai
Satchidanand.
Satchidanand.
Deepakanandji, just hold on a minute.
Jai Satchidanand. Tomorrow's program, morning 6:30, Pratavidhi, 10:15 morning. You have Gujarati Satsang. 4:30 afternoon, we have Kirtan Bhakti and Aarti. And in the night, 9 p.m., we have Kit Satsang for half an hour and then Elder worldwide Satsang.